a wake-up. This message could serve as a wake-up call to the person it concerns, Riyad Mahrez, as well as the entire football world. Pep Guardiola does not respect him, and all Algerians are angrier than ever. But Mahrez seems to accept his situation and doesn't rebel against his coach the way that Sterling did against Wolverhampton when he left the pitch, or Aguero, or even De Bruyne. Many specialists, including former players, have reacted saying they don't understand Pep Guardiola's philosophy, or even the unbelievable decision to put an 18-year-old kid, Phil Foden, in the place of a reigning African champion, English champion, and the best player in England in 2016. Guardiola also signed Ferran Torres, who he plays on his team's right flank, in some ways making it clear to Mahrez that he doesn't feature in his plans. The biggest injustice was against Wolverhampton. For the first time since signing for City, Mahrez was a substitute from the start of the season. That's where the anger and incomprehension intensify, because Mahrez was ready. He trained hard in the days before the match. He was fully recovered from COVID and was present on the team sheet. That rules out COVID as a motive. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been brought along but left at home instead, in isolation, and wouldn't have trained with the squad. But Guardiola didn't play him and kept him on the bench, once again bringing on the new recruit Ferran Torres. Then Pep finally decided to play Mahrez during Man City-Bournemouth, a Carabao Cup match of little significance. The least prestigious competition, meaning no one cares about it, knowing that England's top 6 teams will play their reserve teams, their young players, to set them a challenge and rest the starters for upcoming league games. Guardiola said it himself, and Mahrez lined up with this reserve team and these 17-year-old kids. Mahrez didn't play in the second leg against Real Madrid in the Champions League, or against Lyon, or Wolverhampton, the first and very important match in the Premier League. It's scandalous. Guardiola is destroying Mahrez's career by making him lose the hot streak he had at Leicester for 2 years. However, his journey up till now has been incredible, his accolades too, and I can proudly say that as an amateur football player, his game and the way he moves inspire me. He's a true artist, a pure technician. You just have to watch some of his videos on YouTube or his matches to notice. His 10th place finish in the Ballon d'Or rankings speak for itself. Watching him play is a pure delight. Besides, all football experts share this opinion, but also the fact that he's very underrated, while being the best player at City along with Kevin De Bruyne, a black spot which unfortunately makes him an underrated player. But the responsibility also rests on Mahrez. He didn't know how to pass the famous hurdle to play at Real or Barca, and once again, all football experts, like all Algerians who love him, recognise this and get annoyed at him. Mahrez lacks character. He doesn't bang his fist on the table to make himself heard, and this works against him. To illustrate this negative point, I just have to mention the fact that he lets his teammates take free kicks when he wants to take them. The same for penalties. He doesn't rebel and always appears to accept it without getting annoyed. He doesn't even know how to make himself heard when Pep takes him off in the 65th minute, or when he leaves him on the bench, when he scored 1 or even 2 goals in the previous match, or he made 1 or 2 assists. He's the best player in his position. Yes, I am angry. If you compare the two coaches, Klopp and Guardiola, there's one difference that stands out. If you concentrate on their management styles, Klopp creates a stability in his team because he establishes a perfect 11 that he starts in nearly every match, unless there's an injury problem. This gives his team a certain sense of balance, which allows him to win trophies. This analysis is certainly very simple, I know, but that doesn't make it any less true. Guardiola, on the other hand, uses his philosophy a bit too frequently, like against Lyon in the Champions League, and relies on it too often without it working. His tactics are sometimes difficult to understand and ridiculously too complex. Ultimately, Pep instills discord within the team. The players find themselves with the pressure of having to play the match of their lives every time to not end up on the bench for the next match. This team has lacked cohesion for a while, and the citizens play as individuals because each player wants to show themselves. Sergio Aguero, Sterling and Fernandinho also strongly rebelled against Pep when he took them off. Since that day, Guardiola never takes them off, and Gabriel Jesus paid the price until Aguero's injury. Aside from the show Mahrez puts on when he plays, through his unreal technical quality, he knows how to be decisive, whether that's with his national team or his club, previously Leicester, now Man City. Look at his stats from last season, with the little playing time Pep allocated him, he still managed to do better than Bernardo Silva in the right wing position. MAHREZ is the most influential, most talented and best player on Algeria's team. He's playing in a top European club and is playing against the best. His talent, his dribbles, his goals and his assists, each one more incredible than the last, make him a special player. It still makes me incredibly proud to see you play, Riyad. Have confidence in yourself, impose